Right now, in the world of AI, there's this huge gap opening up. On one side, you have the enthusiasts, the people who love to talk about AI. And on the other, you've got the leaders, who are actually driving real value with it. Well, this right here, this is your blueprint for getting on the right side of that divide.
So let's just break this down, because you can see the two paths pretty clearly. The AI enthusiast, absolutely essential for getting people excited. They're running demos, sharing articles, but the outcome is usually just, interesting conversations. The AI leader, though, is playing a totally different game. They're focused on outcomes, building strategy, governance, and the result isn't a nice chat. It's measurable business value. Big difference, right?
And this quote gets right to the heart of everything. You want to know the biggest trap companies fall into? Treating AI like it's just another IT project. But look, the technology is rarely the problem. The tech works. It's the change program, the people side of things, that almost always fails. Success or failure, it all comes down to leadership.
Okay, so how do we build that leadership muscle? Well, it all starts right here, in our first section, strategy and use cases. This is where we stop just being curious about AI and start building a real, actual competitive advantage with it. See, a true AI leader doesn't just chase after every shiny new tool. They follow a disciplined process. It starts with finding the real pain points in the business. Then, you gotta be honest about whether your organization is even ready. From there, you score your potential projects, you sequence them carefully, and, this is the big one, you measure the actual outcomes, not just how busy everyone is.
And here is a super powerful but simple tool for making those decisions. You take every potential idea and you map it out. How much value will it bring versus how hard is it to actually do? Now, your goal is to start in that top left corner, the quick wins. Why? Because these are the projects that build momentum. They get you wins on the board and earn you the trust to go after those bigger strategic bets later on. Being a leader also means making smart calls about how you deliver. You don't have to build everything from scratch. You build when it's a totally unique problem, or you need deep integration with your systems. You buy when a great solution already exists and you just need to move fast. And honestly, the smartest move of all, having the wisdom to defer, to hit pause when the foundations like your governance or your data just aren't ready yet. All right, let's move into our second big pillar, governing and adopting AI. This is all about making sure you're creating real value and not, well, a massive liability for your company. This is the part of the journey that really separates the lasting successes from the expensive, failed experiments. Now, a lot of people hear governance and they think, slow down. No, 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 it's the opposite. Good governance builds trust, and trust lets you move faster. This three-zone framework is just brilliant for making things clear. You've got what's allowed, like drafting an email. You've got what's restricted, things that need a second look, like HR stuff. And then you have what is absolutely 100% prohibited. Simple, clear, and safe. And remember this, launch day is not the finish line. It is the starting gun. A real leader designs the entire 90-day adoption journey. The first month, that's all about building your foundation. The second month is activation, getting people to actually use it. And that third month, that's all about gathering the hard evidence you need to build the business case for what's next. And you're absolutely going to face resistance. Of course you are. It's a natural part of any huge change. But leaders, they anticipate this stuff. They have a response ready. So when someone says, I don't trust the output, you don't argue with them. You validate their concern, and you design a mandatory human review step. Just like that, you turn a skeptic into a partner. Okay, section 3. This might be the most critical piece of the whole puzzle, measuring real business value. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you can't prove it's working, what's the point? This is where you learn to speak the language of the C-suite. And hey, if you need a little motivation to get this right, just look at what the market is screaming at us. The number that should make your jaw drop is that one at the end, a 56% wage premium for people who have these strategic AI skills. The demand is off the charts. So this is how you prove it, an AI value dashboard. And let's be really clear, this is not a tech report. This is a business report. It tracks 4 simple things. Adoption, are people using it? Quality, is it any good? Efficiency, how much time are we saving? And the big one, the business outcome, measured in dollars and cents. And this is exactly how you translate that dashboard into a compelling story. You don't just say, handle time went down. You say, a 40% reduction in handle time equals 320 hours reclaimed every single month. You see? You connect the dots from the tech directly to the company's bottom line.
All right, let's bring it all home in our final section. We've talked strategy, governance, and measurement. Now, how do you turn all of this hard work into a powerful career-defining story about you? Here is the secret. Employers and senior leaders want proof, not just promises. The work you do in all these areas, it creates tangible things, actual artifacts. These documents, your prioritization matrix, your 90-day plan, your governance rules, these become your professional portfolio. This is the evidence that proves you can actually do the work. The whole point is to boil all of this experience, all of this evidence, down into one single powerful sentence. This is your career value proposition. It's the ultimate summary of what you bring to the table. It's your ability to connect AI to real business outcomes all in one line. And here it is. This is the winning sentence. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't talk about features. It doesn't list tech products. It talks about safety, governance, adoption, and measurable value. This becomes your new identity, your personal headline that just lifts you right out of the crowd of enthusiasts. So that's it. That's the blueprint from start to finish. Strategy, execution, measurement, and how to tell your own story. So there's really only one question left to ask yourself. Are you content just being an enthusiast, or are you ready to use this blueprint to lead?